Good evening. Welcome to E2Language, and we're joined today with Manjunath, one of our students who cracked 90s in the PTE in his first attempt. So welcome, and so we just want probably introduce yourself for us and for the viewers over here.
Yep. My name is Manjunath. I'm basically from Mumbai, India. So I just appeared for the PTE on the 22nd of March, and I got an overall score of 90 and 90 in each section
fantastic.
as well. So thanks a lot for E2Language, who have really helped me in getting this high score. And yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so what we want to talk about today is possibly a little bit about the PTE exam itself, how you perceived the exam, how you prepared for it, and how you went ahead and actually executed all your training and preparation. So let's start off with understanding a little bit about how did you find the exam, how did you decide upon PTE to be the right exam that you wanted to give?
I actually needed a score of 79 plus. That's equivalent to 8 plus in IELTS.
Right.
So I appeared for my IELTS last year. I couldn't get the actual score, like 6.5 in writing. So I was really disappointed after a lot of hard work. So started researching about other examinations like the PTE, OET and TOEFL.
Right.
And after a lot of research and understanding the tasks of the examination, structure of the examination, I thought I'll give it a go and see, if I can get the desired score.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's come to a little bit about your preparation, right? So we all know that every exam has certain sections, and each section requires a meritorious approach on its own.
Absolutely.
So could you tell us a little bit about your preparation and how E2 helped with your preparation?
I would say when it comes to the speaking section, describe, image, and retail lecture requires a lot of practice and requires a structured method.
Right.
Writing as well, it requires a structure. When you're writing an essay, you can't just be haywire. It has to be a proper structure. It needs coherence and proper grammatical and grammar and punctuations as well. And when it comes to reading, I think reorder paragraph and multiple choice, choose multiple answers are quite tricky.
Okay.
You need a method which E2Language helped me with. And when it comes to listening, again, task like select missing word.
Right.
You need to understand the context of the lecture. You can't just choose the option by listening to the lecture.
Fair enough.
If possible, you can take down notes in listening. If you're good in multitasking, you can do that. Yeah.
Awesome. So one of the frequently asked questions that we get, right, is like which is the hardest section in the exam, right? So in according to you, which you think was the toughest section in the PTE?
I think for me, reading reorder paragraphs and multiple choice, choose multiple answer was the toughest. And in speaking, I would say retail lecture, because I had 4 retail lectures in the examination. Usually people have 3, but depends on the test day. I had 4 retail lectures, so that was really tricky. But otherwise, writing and listening were quite straightforward.
Right.
So yeah, that's about it as far as the tough tasks are concerned.
Right. Yeah. So, I think the next thing that we probably want to just go ahead and understand a little bit is, your preparation, right? So how did you approach your preparation? How did you go ahead and, work on the tasks given to you? And how did you eventually execute your preparation and your entire, exam approach? Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I started my preparation 5 to 6 months back. That's just the basic preparation. Right. I just wanted to get accustomed to the tasks involved in the PTE. And I just, filtered the most difficult tasks and the easy tasks and the most easy tasks. So once I did that, I came to know what exactly my strengths are, what my weaknesses are.
Right.
I also appeared for the actual mock test, which PTE gives you, the online mock test. That's the first thing you need to do. By doing that, what your strengths and weaknesses are,
right,
and where you need to put in efforts, a lot of efforts.
Right.
And that's where E2Language came in. And in the last 1.5 months, I really put my foot down. Practice for about 5 to 6 hours a day. Same questions again and again. Just refining the methods, improving every time. And yeah, that's about it.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So let me just cut forward a little to the exam day, right?
Yeah.
So another really common question is, so you're not alone inside the PTE exam room.
Absolutely.
You have to go ahead and be probably 50 other participants who are taking the exam. So people generally worry about noise, right? And especially in the speaking section when you have to record your voice.
Absolutely.
So what would you recommend would be the best approach to, make sure that your focus doesn't get diverted and you can concentrate, in your speaking section?
The best thing I would say is, when you're practicing, just switch on some music and just start practicing. That's all you can do.
Right.
You can't actually eliminate that noise which comes from the other people in the test room. So you have about 6 to 7 people in the test room. People keep speaking over each other,
Right.
but you should not get deterred by anything of that sort. You just focus on the screen, focus on what you're talking, focus on what you're listening, and as I said, just play some music, or you can practice while going on the tram, or
Right.
I mean, there are different ways to do it, but as I said, and the Pearson says that the headphones which they give basically filters out most of the noise,
Right.
and it actually worked for me. So
Okay.
yeah, the headphones are of very high quality,
Right.
and I don't think that's an excuse.
Right.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. I think that's really valuable advice that
yeah.
anyone can actually take in.
Absolutely.
So keep continuing on the exam day preparation.
Absolutely,
So
yes.
I just want to understand, what are the things that you do when you're on the exam day, right? So it's D-Day, it's your exam in a couple of hours. So what are the things that are running through your mind? How do you calm yourself down? Do you actually freak out before the exam?
I was 2 to 3 hours before the exam. I was really nervous.
Okay.
And I just watched a few videos on YouTube which says meditation before exam. That was really superstitious, but yeah, that's what I did. So I mean, once you walk into the exam room, you feel nervous probably 30 minutes before the exam starts, but once you're in front of the computer and you're just looking to get your desired score, that's what's running in your mind. I mean, you forget everything else. You just concentrate on what you have in hand.
Right.
And the most important thing I would say is don't focus on the question which is gone, or don't focus on the question which is going to come. Just focus on what you have in hand.
Definitely.
For that you need to have a lot of practice, a lot of determination, and a lot of sincerity as well.
Makes sense. Makes definite sense. And any other tips that you possibly could tell fellow students who are going to probably take the exam?
I would say PT is not like IELTS, wherein you just do 40 questions and you know which questions you've done right, and probably you get 40 out of 40 or 35 out of 40. PT is a different animal altogether. So the marking system works on a computerized algorithm which no one is aware of. So you can't say, if I don't do this task well, I might get a high score in this section.
Right.
And most of the tasks in PTE are interrelated. Like one, for example, repeat sentence has your reading as well as speaking.
Right.
So you can't actually do one task bad and expect a high score in the
Definitely.
PTE. Because I have seen a lot of people missing right from dictation in listening and getting a high score in writing and written discourse as well.
Right.
So you can't miss any of the tasks in PTE. And second thing is, you need to work on your basic grammar and vocabulary, because PTE is not like, even if you're a native English speaker, you need methods to work upon. But the advantage with native English speakers is that their grammar is already good,
Right.
and their vocabulary is already good. But with non-native speakers, you need to work on your basic grammar and vocabulary before you go into the PTE. Because tasks like fill in the blank and reading and writing fill in the blanks, they need a good vocabulary range and good grammar as well.
Right.
So, and if you see the enabling skills, they test your pronunciation, oral fluency, grammar skills. Everything is tested, and even your vocabulary is tested. So it's like a holistic approach towards you should have a holistic approach towards the examination.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up what every student would be thinking, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and possibly to conclude, to summarize, just tell us what would be the top 3 tips that you would recommend to our students who are looking to take the exam in the near future.
The first tip, I would say, on the test day, just don't be nervous. Of course, it's a test day, so you have to be nervous, but but just train your brain in such a way that you don't be too nervous when you're going to the exam, and just focus on the task in hand. Don't think about the task which has gone behind. Don't think about the task which is going to come ahead. Just focus on the current task. And secondly, have a holistic approach, as I said, towards the PT exam. Do your basic grammar, improve your vocabulary over a period of time, and then appear for the PTE, because there's no point just giving 300 $30 each and every time to get a desired score. So might as well do a proper preparation and then go for the examination. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. So thank you so much for giving us such valuable tips.
Sure.
And we'll make sure that it's helpful to the other students.